All right. Hi, everybody. How you doing? I am Johan. That over there is Mr. Charleston Hughes. Joining us today, we have a friend of...
Oh, my God.
There's Charleston Hughes. Today, we have joining us in studio our friend of the show, Mr. Abby White.
Hey.
And today's guest. Very excited and happy to have Mr. Johnny Reid, who is in town here in our lovely city of Regina. He's experiencing Regina at its finest today, playing in the Casino Show Lounge tonight, sold out show. Johnny Reid, how are you doing?
I'm good, Johan. How are you?
Very good. Charleston, that's one of the things too. I was very surprised by Johnny's accent. You don't really hear it when you sing, but then, man, it's you've still kept that Scottish accent.
It's not as strong as it used to be, Johan. It used to be a lot stronger. Back in the day when Abby and I first met, I know he still has a hard time understanding me from time to time, but back in the day I could tell he was completely, absolutely confused by what I was saying. But he was very nodded, it was
We lost you for a bit there, Johnny. Sorry, the internet's up and down, but I want to ask you about your show, Regina. Tell me a little bit about how excited are you to be here in Saskatchewan? You were in Moose Jaw yesterday. You and Abby were talking about playing yesterday and going over to a good drinking spot of ours, Bobby's Place, doing that. We've all been there for 1 or 6 beers. How excited are you to be in Saskatchewan?
I've always enjoyed Saskatchewan, Johan. There's a lot of good, hard-working people out here, and it's so I've always felt a lot of love and a lot of support out here, and I really enjoy being here. So Moose Jaw was wonderful last night, and this evening, Regina will be another wonderful evening, I'm sure.
Good, Chuck. Can you relate about how?
I was about to say, did you get a chance to go to the tunnels or anything like that? Did you get a chance to fully absorb the Moose Jaw life?
Yeah, well, Charleston, I've been coming through for a long time, So, back when I first came through Moose Jaw, I went all the tunnels and acted like I was some sort of gangster. You know what I mean? But I've had a great time there. I believe I've experienced just about everything Moose Jaw has to offer through the years. And then last night, obviously, went down to Monica's place, down at Bobby's place, and supported that local establishment a little bit before the show. So I've always enjoyed beautiful.
And Charleston, have you ever been to the tunnels? That's a better question, Charles. What about you? Have you experienced the Moose Jaw to the finest?
I think I have. Yeah, I've been to the tunnels one time. I heard they got a new one that's opened up. I got to go see that new one. But the thing is the tunnels are cool. Like, this little stuff about Moose Jaw that you don't even know. You don't even realize, like, what's going on in that place. But it's actually pretty awesome when you go there and you hear about this whole Al Capone thing. And, man, who would have thought he came all the way from Chicago to live Moose Jaw? For what?
For what? To make money? For what? To be able to come here?
Yeah.
Like, we all come to Moose Jaw to make money. Johnny came to the Moose Jaw to make money. Yeah, we all did to be able to do that. I want to talk to Johnny a little bit about getting to know how you got started. I love that Abby's here because you can tell some of the days when you guys first met and first started. Abby was telling me before the show, Johnny, about you had frosted tips. You had that nice, fashionable...
Yes, man. Yes.
Hold on, wait, frosted tips?
You got to explain that to Charleston because he won't know what that is.
I had frosted tips, man. I had the 2 earrings. Man, I was 3 guys short of a boy band.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the coolest country singer I had never met before that came into the radio station.
So Johnny,
As soon as I mention your name, Abby with the going like, yeah, I was probably the first person in Saskatchewan to play his music. And I'm like, what?
He was.
Like, Abby
He
knows
was, man.
everybody.
That's awesome. Is that
Abby was one of the very first to jump and give me a lot of love, a lot of support. Not only in Moose Jaw, but some of the other places Abby has been. He's been a real champion of mine. So it's just been a cool relationship through the years.
That's awesome. Abby, what do you remember about when Johnny's starting
It's
off?
interesting because there's so many artists that, that come and from where Johnny came from, basically grassroots, trying to get things started and hoping that they, open some doors up and that, folks in the radio industry will support their music. So it's not easy, especially out of the gate. And for Johnny, he, again, when he came in, it was nothing like we had seen at country radio anyways. But there was something about him and there was something about his voice, and we thought, we got to give this guy a chance. And eventually it's just, developed, and now you look at him, he's 122 sold out shows in a row or whatever. So it's not that it happened overnight, but it's, we knew there was something special there, and that's why we took a chance on Johnny.
That's awesome. Johnny, tell us about your start. Not so much about the frosted tips and the earrings, but tell us about your start getting, growing up in Ontario, and then how everything just kind of evolved to where you are today.
Yeah, the synopsis fellas immigrated to Canada, 88, went to high school there, got an opportunity to go to college in Montreal and play football. Actually, I take that back, Charleston. I did not play football. I was a place kicker. So I was. Wow. I was on.
That means
I was
a
on the
bit.
team.
At least you put on the uniform.
I was on the team, man. Yeah. But I played. So I played there. Finished school, and one thing led to the next, and I found myself for music and to write music, and it's been quite a journey. I think everybody in life, we all have these different paths and all these different different walks of life that we take. I'm sure Charleston, when he grew up, he never imagined himself in the Great White North, playing CFL, professional football. I never imagined that I would be in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh.
Experiences that I've had in my career. So I think sometimes you just got to walk blindly and just understand that you're not in charge. There's a path that's out there for you, and you just have to kind of keep your head down, keep working hard, and you'll kind of get to where you're supposed to be.
That's awesome. One of the things too I forgot to mention is that we have only one true Canadian here. Abby is the only one that was born in Canada. Johnny, you were born in Scotland. Obviously, Charleston is Michigan man, and I was born in Guatemala. So we got 3 imports and a true natural.
Yeah, but my thing is like, what the hell? You was born in Scotland, but how long have you been in Canada?
I was in Canada 88. I lived full time in Canada for 88 to 2000, and then I went, and there was an opportunity in Nashville, Tennessee, and I went down there, and I've had a place down there now for 21 years, 22 years. So I still have a place just north of Toronto, Charleston, and a place called Caledon, Ontario. So it kind of split our time up, depending whenever we're not on the road. We find ourselves on the road quite a bit. So I think I've spent more time in a tour bus the past, 30 years than I've spent anywhere else.
That's one of the things too, Charleston. He's had a longer playing career than you. You thought you were getting old. Johnny is the same age as I am, right? We're 48, Johnny.
Jesus, Johan, I was looking at Charleston's Wikipedia there before I came on.
Yeah.
That guy's 38, man. He's a baby.
I know.
A wee baby.
But Charleston's coming up on like a 13-year career, Chuck, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, it might look like I'm a baby on paper, but I'm a grandfather in football year.
Man, that's amazing. What a career. What a career.
And that's the two things that are similar. I look at you and Chuck, and I say, Chuck, did you see Johnny's schedule? What he's playing night after night, road trip. I mean, that's like, Chuck, that's like you playing for another 10 years to equivalent to what Johnny's doing. Can you imagine that?
Man, I definitely couldn't. But Johnny, talk to me about how do you train your voice to sing night after night like that? Like, do you have to take breaks? Do you have to drink hot water and lemon? Like, I mean, it might be just like a thing that people think about that don't even really imagine singing night after night and stressing your voice like that.
Yeah, it's, the truth is, man, is that you have to just sort of take care of it. The best way to take care of that is, I'm sure the same as you as a professional athlete, I'm sure you have a lot of pre-warm-up before the game, a cool-down after the game, probably the day after the game you have a lot of recovery, massage, all this kind of stuff, so your body is your instrument. My instrument's my voice, man, so I gotta make sure I do a little bit of warm-up before, a little warm-down after the show, hot tea, lots of sleep, and lots of water. I got to drink a lot of water, man, and that really helps. Sleep is the big thing. Making sure you're getting plenty of rest to just allow because when you're sleeping, you're not talking. So the less talking, that's really the best way to create longevity.
Did you see Johnny recently? One of Charleston's teammates recently was caught singing on the sidelines a Garth Brooks tune, and
what Garth Brooks song?
It was "Friends in Low Places," I believe, and it was Anthony Lanier, and he's how tall is he, Abby? About 6.
Way taller than me.
Well, yeah, everybody's taller than you, but we're saying that he's about 6'3", 6'4", and 200 and maybe 70, 80 pounds. And so he was singing it on the sidelines. Well, it got back to Garth Brooks. He posted a video, and his words of advice to Anthony was just don't quit your day job. So we need to be able to we need you to be able to later on when Chuck gets back on, we need you to be able to give him some singing lessons at all times, because I've heard him be able to sing, and especially after a few drinks, he needs your help, Johnny. We need to be able to hire you.
Well, Johan, I got to tell you, I've yet to meet an athlete that does not want to be an artist, and I've yet to meet an artist that doesn't want to be an athlete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just the way the world works.
Yeah.
We're all given different gifts, man. So
very
just how we give it back. So.
Very true. Very true. Abby, tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, the show's called Better with Age, and I mean, Johnny, you've been doing this a long time now, and you have built such a fantastic career. What is it about you and your career that's gotten better with age?
That's a good question, mate. I think that, relationships are really what it's about for me. I've been able to, my relationship with my wife and my kids, and been able to have a bit of deeper look at life. I think when we first start, we think, there's things that we think about when we're younger that we realize as we get older, they're maybe not as important as we thought they were. I think our value systems change as we get older. Understanding what's important in life, that all the big golden rings that everybody seems to be chasing. They start losing their luster as time goes on, Abby. And if you're not doing what you do for the right reasons, I think it becomes very, very clear very quickly, and that's what happened. That's for me. I'm just grateful that I truly enjoy singing songs and writing music and getting on stage and entertaining people. Because I just as time goes on, mate, I just cannot imagine doing something that I don't enjoy.
When you look back at your career, is there anything that you would have maybe done a little differently?
Not really. I don't really live my life like that, Abby. I just, it's hard to move forward when you're looking back, man. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I feel like everything, all the good stuff, all the in-between stuff, all the bad stuff, all the ups, all the downs, all, everything that's happened in your life kind of leads you to where you find yourself, I've really enjoyed my career thus far. Sometimes I have they pinch me moments, where I'm just like, wow, like this has been 30 years, 30 years basically, that I've been doing this. So the fact that I'm able to still do it, the fact that I've still got people filling up rooms, I'm bringing a lot of joy to people. I don't think I want to change a thing.
Do you ever? I know when we talk to Charleston, when we talk with Charleston over many beers, we're very fortunate to be able to do that, and we always ask him about, before the game, does he ever get caught up in the moment, right? Like, now that he's getting older, you can see how many gray hairs he has in his face. But before the game, you can see Charleston go to the middle of the field when he plays with the Riders now, and he kind of looks up, and you just see him take it all in. Are you at that stage now too, or you're still just like, man, go out and do that? Or
yeah, I think that part of it was a good question that Abby posed. I think that you take the time to enjoy the moment a wee bit more as time goes on. I remember Abby sitting at the journal, maybe the CCMAs or the journals. It was something of that nature, and I remember the winner is Johnny Reid, and I remember coming back to my seat after accepting the award and looking at my wife and saying, I've got the best idea. And she looked at me, she was like, why don't you just enjoy, what just happened?
yeah,
and I was never really able to do that. I was always thinking about what's next. But as time goes on, you do really learn to relish the moments and to take a look around yourself, and realize that there's a lot of people involved, man. There's so many people involved,
When it comes to career moments and highlights for you, Johnny, I mean, there's obviously been lots. As you were talking, I was thinking about, I can't remember what year it was. I believe it was when you performed Thank You, and I think it was on the CCMA Awards, maybe Winnipeg, maybe Calgary, but it was just you and a piano in the middle of the arena all by yourself, and it was one of those goosebump moments that I think that, everybody knew that you were a star, but I think that was that one moment that when you think you can't get to another level, you do. That moment, do you remember that?
I remember that, Abby. I remember that night. Somebody had asked me, especially in the Canadian country music market, as you know, I was never mainstream. I was always on the
pushing the edges, yeah.
Yeah, pushing the edges. I always did, and very grateful I was given an opportunity to be heard. But I remember that night when everybody went left. There was people, fireworks, and there was people other stuff. And I remember just standing on stage that night, and I remember shutting my eyes for the last note. And when I opened my eyes, the full place was on its feet, and the audience was one thing, but that night I remember feeling that I have arrived in that moment, because all the industry, everybody that usually, as you know, have very strong opinions.
Yeah.
And frankly, the industry can choose from time to time, who gets played, who doesn't get played, who, they have a lot to say with that, And I remember standing there looking and seeing everybody genuinely, I believe, very happy for me, and it was a really cool feeling,
Yeah, it was
to feel that kind of admiration coming back through for the industry.
Yeah, it was absolute magic. I mean, I got to witness it firsthand. It was, anybody that's watching this, I'd encourage you to go on YouTube. I'm sure it's posted there somewhere. Any other highlights, Johnny, just for you over the years that you remember that stand out?
Man. I think there's a ton. I think, one of the great moments for me was singing for Her Royal Highness the Queen.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Who we just lost.
Yeah.
But that was a big moment for me. I grew up in a place where the monarchy was a big deal.
Yeah.
And here I am in Regina, of all places. But it was a big deal. And my grandmother had passed away. My granny was a huge loved the monarchy. You know, had all the plates and all that stuff. And she had always wanted her dream in life was to make it to 100, because when she got to 100, guys,
Get a letter from the Queen.
The Queen sends you a letter. Well, she never made it to 100. She passed away that May, 87, and then that about a month later, in June, I was asked if I would be interested in performing for the Queen.
Wow, that's
so it was a pretty crazy experience, and I would say that's a real highlight for me. Abby would be stunning, singing a song called "Today I'm Going to Try and Change the World," and turning around and there's, you know, Prince, you know, the Queen and her husband, and it's just one of these surreal moments. You know,
that's is funny because, you know, we're watching a lot of people being interviewed at the Queen's funeral there and everything over the last week. David Beckham said the same thing, that one of his things, he waited in line in the queue for
14
12
hours.
to 14 hours
yeah.
to be able to go and pay his respects. But one of the things he wanted to do was to be able to take his grandparents and meet the Queen, and to be able to do that and show that respect. So that's awesome.
Well, it's a big deal, right? It's a big deal because you know, where we grew up, the only time you ever saw this woman was on a stamp or on a penny.
Yeah.
You know, so you talk about. I mean, you want to talk about a rock star. You know, you want to talk about a real star.
Yeah.
You know, the Queen was.
I mean, she's on the money.
Yeah, she's
on the money. You know, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. You know, and. She touched. You know, there was a lot of people that, I don't know. It was just a big part of our lives growing up, and that was a big moment. That was definitely a big moment for me.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to see if we can reconnect with Charleston if he's lost somewhere on the roads here in Saskatchewan, and see what's up with them. We're going to talk a little more football with Mr. Johnny Reid, because I know that it's big in his family. Especially his freshman redshirt son going to Furman College.
That's my middle boy, Johan.
That's
my middle boy. Son plays
Man,
at Furman,
I was looking at some of the stats. I was like, they played Clemson, number 4 ranked this year, and lost by, you know, a few touchdowns, 35-12, but that's phenomenal to be able to do that.
Oh, mate, what an experience.
You went to the game?
No, I was on the road, but he was FaceTiming me. He was FaceTiming me in Death Valley.
Oh, man.
Saying, "Dad, can you believe this?"
Yeah, and it was at Clemson. That would have been awesome. But we were going to talk a little more football. Hopefully we get Chuck on there, because obviously he's the expert, and we'll get his take on your football takes and everything else right back after this with Johnny Reid.
Hi, my name is Rob Peterson. I'm the broker owner of Realty One in Regina. Real estate and life is about great people, and that's why I'm associated with Charleston Hughes and Johan Zielinski and IKS to sponsor the Better with Age podcast. Realty One was founded in Regina 11 years ago. It's an independent brokerage, it's local, and it's full of great people helping great local Regina people buy and sell properties. It's entrepreneurial based, which means you have non-narcissistic agents that have your best interest in mind, not their own. In these coronavirus times, real estate market right now in Regina and Saskatchewan is thriving because people are thinking more local. They're not thinking about traveling because we can't, and that's driving our market. When you hire a realtor, no matter who it is, no matter what company, please interview them. Please make sure they're a good personal fit for you, because that's what this is all about. It's good people connecting themselves with someone that they know has their best interest in mind. And that's what the Realty One family does. And that's what a lot of agents in Regina do. But make sure you take your time and find the best fit for you and your family.
It's that time of year when divisions are decided, champions are crowned, and legends are born. Now, it's your turn to win big. You've heard the name just about everywhere, MyBookie. They're the industry's leading online sportsbook and casino, and it's not hard to understand why. With thousands of lines to bet on all your favorite sports, NFL, NBA, and college ball. Check, check, and check. MMA and soccer, they've got all the latest odds, period. Take advantage of MyBookie's prop builder and live in-game betting, where every single run, throw, and touchdown is another chance for you to put cash in your pocket. Visit their mobile-friendly website today and get your deposit matched halfway up to $1,000. Just use the promo code when you make your first deposit. The best part is they make it simple, with a variety of ways to deposit instantly, including credit card, bank transfer, Bitcoin, and more. Whether you're at home or on the go, on your laptop or on your phone, it's not too late to make your New Year's resolution a resolution to get paid. Bet, win, and get paid at MyBookie.
All right, and we're back here with Mr. Johnny Reid. Johnny, before the break, we were trying to be able to see if we can connect with Charleston. This is our latest view of Mr. Charleston Hughes on the road somewhere in Saskatchewan. Do we have that picture, boys, of him lost somewhere or anything? We'll see if we can pull that up. If not, there he is. He's lost somewhere on the road. That's his current expression, but that's the best we'll get. Hopefully, Charleston will be able to jump back on, and we'll go from there. But, Johnny, let's talk a little about, before the break, we were talking about football and how big football is to your family. Tell me about your boys. And I know that one's in college playing Div 1 football, and the other one is it a sophomore in Nashville?
So my oldest boy, he always calls himself the manager. You know, he was never really interested in playing football, but he's a statistician, you know. So he was going to Ole Miss in Mississippi.
Okay.
And now he's finishing up some grad stuff at Belmont in Nashville. My second son is a running back at Furman in South Carolina. And he's playing D1. Yeah. And then my youngest boy is a sophomore at high school, and he's a running back also. So, you know, it's a big game in my house, Johan. It's something that connects everybody. You know, if you come to my place, you'll watch football Monday night, you'll watch football Thursday night, you'll watch Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and back to Monday.
How did you get from a kicker's talent yourself to then running back talent? You're both your boys are running back, and to be running back in Div 1.
Yeah, well, I tried my very best to push them to play real football, which was soccer.
Oh, right? Yeah.
I tried my best, but they were just so. Where we are, there's three sports basically. There's basketball, baseball, and football, and they were just drawn to play football. They've always enjoyed it, always loved it, and as they say, when you have kids, you gotta fan the flame, man. You gotta just support them and you know, whatever direction they want to go in. So that's what they've done, and you know, lo and behold, what a treat it is to be able to watch them, you know, compete at a high level. So
I bet I was saying, Abby, you know, have you watched some of Charleston's games, Johnny?
You know, I did. I wanted to make sure I did a wee bit of homework. I got the phone call that we were going to be chatting, so I definitely wanted to make sure I knew who I was talking to, and he's a beast of a man.
Okay, yes.
You know?
So when he gets a sack here in Saskatchewan, he's in the top 5, right?
Yeah, he's number 5 all time
for sack leaders all time for the CFL. He does a little surf, right? He does this little surf celebration. I was thinking, Abby, is there something next game, if Charleston gets a sack, he can do the surf, but then he can do some kind of gesture to thank Johnny. Is there something that you, a tip of the cap or a tip of is there something you do on, maybe the guitar playing, or is there something we can suggest that Charleston can do after he does a surf and then kind of
Man, I tell you what, I mean, I don't know if he's, you know, I think maybe a wee bit of the honky tonk, man, could be amazing.
Yeah. Okay, we'll suggest that and see. What do you think, Abby?
That could be. That could be good.
A good tribute to John.
You could throw a kick in there as an ode to Johnny's pass as a kicker, you know?
That's it, you know.
Did you have any big moments when you played, like for kicking, or like anything you remember back?
You know, Abby, I've got to tell you, I did. I had a couple of big moments, and I had a couple of, like, you know, kind of outhouse to the penthouse to the penthouse to the outhouse moments as well. You know,
sounds like a kicker.
You know, it's really, it's one or the other when you're a kicker. I remember playing against Carleton. We were playing in Ottawa, and I had a field goal. I had a great punt that game. It was all a really great game. I remember playing Concordia. I had a great field goal in Concordia, but then I remember the Mustangs, and I mean, I had to totally missed it, and it ended up costing us the game. So I've actually been on this, the both side of things. But there comes a time in your life, I believe, on everybody's life, when we realise that maybe we should be doing something else, And I think I was a good kicker. I think I did my job well. But my last year there was a guy that came in. He was a CFL kicker that had 1 year left the eligibility in college, and he came to play for Bishops. The guy's name was Dave Carnathan.
Okay.
And I walked on the field, guys, and his foot hit the ball, and I instantly realised that I need to figure something else out.
I need to be doing something else. Yeah.
Yeah. This guy, I mean, it was just like unbelievable. He was. It was at that moment you're like, okay, I need to be doing something else here.
That's good thing you can sing, hey?
I'm glad that I always had, I tell the story, I always had a that hung up in my locker. And I used to, when everybody left, I used to go in the shower because they had great acoustics.
Yeah.
And I used to go in and play the mandolin and sing, So even when I look back at there was already indication that I would
go down that path and be able to do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's led you here to Regina.
Yeah, here we go.
That's right.
I want to ask you about something you don't know, Johnny. Is that I've kind of followed your career on Facebook because my cousin Leanne Knudsen-Lazinski from Rose Valley, Saskatchewan, is probably one of your biggest fans ever. I see her follow you to every concert, to every touring vacation, to almost all around. I don't know how many concerts she's been to. It's, I don't know, mind-numbing, but she's one of your bigger fans. How do you react when you get to see your fans come to shows again and again and again, and to see that loyalty to you? How is that to be able to act as an artist?
Well, I just think as a human being, it's extremely humbling, to be able to see people time again. Before the show, I always ask, is this anybody's first time seeing her? Yeah. And then I'll say, are there any repeat offenders, and it blows my mind just how many people, just keep coming back and just enjoying the evening, and it's the only thing that really changes, Johan. Like the venue's the same, the band's usually the same, the instruments are the same, the songs are the same. So the only thing that really changes on a nightly basis is the audience.
The fan club is called the Tartan Army, by the way. So it's a pretty powerful force in the world, no question about it. Do you even know how many members of the Tartan Army there are, Johnny? Now, like there has got to be lots.
I don't go to tell you. It's become it's become what it was supposed to become, which was something much bigger than me. It was set up to be a community where people could talk to each other and meet each other, and just my music is basically the conduit to open, and that's the way it's become. It's become a meeting place for people to get to know each other, which is wonderful, right? It's great to be part of that.
Well, I mean, when you do your vacations, and I know there was one cruise that was over in Europe, and I don't know if that's happened or it's coming up again. I know it's soon, but it must be almost like a reunion for them as well. As much as they're excited to see you play, because that's part of it, I would imagine many of the very elite members of the Tartan Army look forward to getting together with each other and have probably become lifelong friends because of you.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of great memories together. You know, like Abby, I think we just become the soundtrack to people's lives. You know, and I think that the songs connect, but really the memories and the time that people spent together, and you know, the remember when. It's a way for people to get connected and good. I mean, we definitely need that, right? The past couple of years has been so insane. When you get back together and being and within a community, it just having a tool and a platform in order for people to do that is very. The Tartan Army is definitely a very intricate part and a very important part of it, you know, since the beginning.
Yeah, well, Johnny, is there anything else that we can help promote and help you out with? Plug your dates. Obviously, you can go and see you at your website. Is there anything that we can help promote or help out?
You know, man. I got to tell you, some of the most important things coming up for me. A wee bit of time off is I wrote a musical called Maggie for my grandma, and that is actually going to make its North American debut next year here in Canada. So that's going to be in Hamilton, Ontario. Then it's going to go to the PEI. It's going to go to Cape Breton, Newfoundland, and then work its way across the country. So, you know, I would love people to keep their eye open for that. It's just going to be a wonderful story of my granny. I was trying to figure out a way to bring her back to life. I thought the best way to write a musical about her and put her back on stage. So I'm excited about that. And needless to say, just continue to support Canadian music. There's a lot of great talent up here in this country, you know. And I find sometimes we tend to look in other places to find it, and there's just so much great talent up here that we just, you know, I just want to make sure people keep their eye close to home, and you never know when the next Scottish guy with frosted tips is going to walk through your door. You know what I mean?
I look forward to meeting that guy because he was a good time. It still is.
Abby, anything else you want to say before I close it off?
Yeah, man.
No, I just want to thank Johnny for everything that he's done, not only for Canadian radio over the years, but just being himself, being a genuine good guy. That's when I first met him, that's what I saw, and he's never changed. He's still that guy that's, you know, truthful to who he wants to be in the music that he wants to put out, and very loving of his fans. And there's a reason why he sells out shows all over Canada and beyond because of who he is. So thanks for never changing, Johnny.
Thanks, Abby. You too, mate. Untitled Chapter. Remember, listen, I'm expecting some big things.
We'll definitely mention that to Chuck. We'll see what he can do about the honky tonk. And one thing, Johnny, before we go, Chuck always closes it off. I'll see if I can remember the line, but this show is called Better with Age, and like many things in life, wine, cheese, whiskey, things get better with life. But one of the most important things is friendship. We're very proud. I'm very proud now that I can call you a friend of myself, Charleston's. You've been friends with Abby for many years, and that's what's most more important in life. We believe is friendship. So thank you very much to your staff, for Alex, for Tracy, for everybody for setting this up. Thank you to you. Good luck. Have fun in our great city tonight. I'll be there cheering you on. Abby's going to be there cheering you on. My wife is going to be there cheering you on. Charleston, possibly. We'll see if he finally gets not lost here in Saskatchewan. But all the best to you and to everybody. Thanks for everything, Johnny.
Hey, man, no worries. If you get a chance, make sure you say hello. All right?
We will do.
We'll do.
Thanks, Johnny, and have fun tonight.
See you guys.
Take care.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Bye.